Hello and welcome to BW London podcast. This live was a hard one to watch. The need to be right, deflection, insult, guilt. It was too much. We don't respect our men. We do not respect our men. And I was thinking about everyone's different walks in life, and it's just blowing my mind. And how women like myself, before this awakening, walked around telling other women that they're 10 out of 10 and they can do all bad by themselves and they'll be okay, and all the rubbish rhetoric that we were speaking. I know one lady, we're going to call her Shaz. She's smart. She went to university. I'm a PhD. Very business-minded, and she did really well. At 25, I think that's how old she was, she decided she wanted to have children. Deep down, she knew she wanted to have light-skinned children. It just seemed like an easier world, especially if they were daughters. So she just selected any light-skinned roadman, had his baby, and even had a second one. Both were planned. And she was willing to keep this guy because, to me, she seemed like she did like a guy beneath her, someone she could control. And she was worried about his independence. I remember that. She was worried about him getting his own car and just sorting out his own life, because it would mean that more than likely he wouldn't choose her. I don't know if she knew that truly deep down, but I think that's what it was. And so said, so done. After the second child, she'd also cheated on him. But he'd gone inside. He'd gone in jail for 6 months, and she actually didn't know where he was, to be fair. And she moved on in that time, but he always held that against her. But marriage wasn't a thing. I remember that, because when I was getting married, I was like, don't you want to get married? And yeah, marriage wasn't a thing. She didn't see that as a thing. She does now. Now she's nearly 40. I mean, I don't even know what to think now, because so many women talk about toxic behaviors and relationships, but what is actually toxic? Is it just it not going your way? Is that what we're calling toxic? I mean, to be fair, this guy is toxic because he really is a criminal. Now she's really hitting everybody up with the, hey, big head. Do you know what I mean? She suddenly cares about marriage, and I introduced her to Kevin Samuels, and she's doing a lot of reflecting. I know another girl, we'll call her Khalees, and she's always complained about men and whatnot. Everyone she's got with, she's pretty much always been a side chick, and she gives them her all, her car to drive, all of it, and then complains about them not being serious. But they were literally Pookie and Ray Ray she was dealing with. And how old is Khalees? I think she's about 33. I'm guessing about 33, and she's just had a baby after a one-night stand. And happily promotes it to everyone. This is a girl who considers herself quite bougie, very, very independent black woman, all of that malarkey. Thinks she is the bee's knees. By the way, both of these women are overweight. It's the overweight that black girls don't consider overweight. But she's big in the real scale of things. What is she? She's probably about 5'2", 5'1", and she weighs at least 180 pounds, I reckon. Maybe a little bit less, but sometimes definitely more. But these are not up there girls, but they definitely consider themselves that. So yeah, she's now a single mother with like a 1-year-old, and still complaining that men ain't shit. But yeah, I don't know what more to say on that. Another one, we're gonna call her Aisha. She got over her baby father. He was, they worked at the same place. He eventually became redundant and just kind of never worked again. But after her first child was maybe 8 or 9, even though she wasn't with him, she decided, I'm ready for my second child now. Literally using men like donors. All 3 of these stories have used men and their sperm like donors. And she decided she wanted another one, and she definitely, all 3 of them they didn't care about marriage, but they cared about having the same baby father. That was crucial. So yeah, in this what did I call her, Aisha? It was crucial in her case. So said, so done. She had a baby, a second child, maybe 8 years after the first one. The three girls I've mentioned so far, their background. So the first one, Shaz, she comes from a single mother background. Never knew her father. Met him in like her 30s, and truly, when she talks, despises men. Shaz came from a single parent household, the one that chose to have light skinned babies, businesswoman, now balling for marriage. And the second one, who was that? I think that was Khalees. Did I call her Khalees? Her background. It's interesting. Her mum is married, but got married really late in like her 50s. And her husband has been with her for over 10 years, maybe more, maybe 15. And she's got a lot of children, her mum, something like 8 children and probably about 5 different baby fathers. And they're always really critical of her husband, super critical. But in the wake of like Kevin Samuels and all that stuff, I'm like, wow, what that mum has actually acted is grateful that this man who isn't any of their fathers and has chosen to be with her all this time. But they're constantly talking about the Disney thing, the romance, he doesn't take her out. But the mum seems very happy and she looks really good for her age as well. But yeah, she got married really late in life. But yeah, that's where Khalees is coming from, the one who had the one night stand and had a baby. And Aisha, her mum is wild. She's been married like 4 times, yet her parents were together. Her parents were together for a lifetime, something like 60 years. They're both past now, her grandparents, Aisha. But they were a loving, beautiful couple. But yeah, her mum got married 4 times. One was very Jerry Springerish. It was a white guy, turned out to be a transdresser and all sorts. Really wild stuff. But yeah, her mum's wild, and her last she's completely out of action now. She's an alcoholic, her mum, Aisha's mum. But when she was in action, she was very good looking. She probably scaled up at least a 7, 8. Aisha's very good looking as well, but she lost her looks early because she had a baby, but she weren't married. She had a baby about, I think about 18 or 19. But she lost her figure completely with it because she was really in shape, Aisha, but yeah, she lost that completely, but still held the mentality of that same woman, even to this day, and she's like 40. Crazy. But yeah, it's just looking at everyone's reality. I have to take accountability for not even seeing these realities and constantly encouraging black women and, yeah, come on, you can do it, and you're, always promoting this singlehood and this nonsense. There is another friend. She's 41. She had an abortion last year, as if she's gonna, still considering marriage and having kids, but had an abortion because he wasn't the right one. Someone she chose to spend 4 years with. And again, every now and again when she spoke in a relationship, my advice was BS, because I just had no real sense of women's delusion. Yeah, she had an abortion and now she's just out here single. It's crazy. I don't know what she's really expecting. And I remember hearing her recently saying, my God, I really ain't the woman of my 20s in terms of her figure and stuff. But, black women don't see that as something seriously, because I don't know if they think that black men will just stick it in anything, but they won't. They really won't. Options are different. With globalization came a lot of options, and globalization happened rapidly. Never has people had access to so much people and marketing and advertising in abundance at one time, including the sexual marketplace. Things are different. We've been zoned out because of our mentality and our zero accountability. Those women on Kevin Samuels' Instagram last night seemed crazy. They seemed absolutely crazy, and it's not like the first time we've seen this type of crazy. And I had to reflect on some of the people that I know, but I know a lot of black women, and these stories that I've heard that I just kind of went over my head, they're serious. Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, man.